5 cop, a woman 5 minutes later. This happened. Hi, I'm Olivia Adams. I've been a police sheriff for over a decade now, working in the forest. I've seen my fair share of rough days, but let me tell you, this one was different. What those 5 officers did to me, how they treated me, that's something I'll never forget. You know, when you wear the badge, you expect to face danger. You're trained for it. But humiliation and mockery from the very people who are supposed to have your back? That's not in the manual. Let me take you back to that day. It started off just like any other crisp morning, me off duty, driving home after a late dinner with a friend. I wasn't even in uniform, just jeans, a sweatshirt, and my hair pulled back. My car? Nothing fancy, just an old sedan I've had for years. I was driving along, lost in my thoughts, when I saw the flashing lights in my rearview mirror.
You know that feeling, right?
Your stomach drops, even if you haven't done anything wrong. Those lights always get to you. So I pulled over, rolled down my window, and waited. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe I had a tail light out or something minor. But the way the officers approached, it felt off. 5 of them. Yes, 5. And they all looked like they had something to prove. One of them, a younger guy, probably mid-20s, leaned down to my window and didn't even ask for my license or registration. He just barked, "Step out of the car." I frowned, confused. "What's this about, officer?" I asked. He smirked. "You resisting, huh? Step out now." My heart started racing, but I stayed calm. I wasn't about to make a scene. "I'm not resisting," I said. "I just want to know what's going on." That's when another officer, an older guy, maybe their leader, stepped in. He didn't bother with pleasantries. He just yanked open my door and grabbed my arm. I couldn't believe it. No explanation, no nothing. They cuffed me right there on the side of the road, searched my car, tore through my stuff like they were looking for buried treasure. Of course, they found nothing, but that didn't stop them from acting like they hit the jackpot. And then the mocking started. One of them, the youngest, laughed and said, "What's the matter? Never been arrested before." Another one chimed in, "Bet she's one of those know-it-all types, thinks she's above the law." They laughed, joked, and even took pictures.
Can you believe it? Pictures.
There I was, cuffed, humiliated, and furious. But I didn't say a word, not yet. Eventually, they loaded me into the back of their cruiser. That's when I decided it was time. I cleared my throat and said, "You might want to check my ID." The leader snorted. "Oh yeah? Why is that?" I said, as calmly as I could, "I'm Sheriff Olivia Adams. Your superior." The car went silent. Dead silent. You should have seen their faces, pale as ghosts. The guy driving nearly swerved off the road. When we got to the station, I made a call and told the desk sergeant to meet us outside. When he saw me in cuffs, the look on his face was priceless. "Sheriff Adams," he said, eyes wide. "What happened?" I looked at the officers who'd arrested me and said, "Why don't you ask them?" Let's just say, it didn't take long for the truth to come out. Those 5 officers? They're not officers anymore. Turns out they'd been pulling stunts like this for a while, targeting people they thought couldn't fight back. But they messed with the wrong woman that day. I made sure they faced the consequences. Yes, they ended up in jail. So yeah, that's my story. It's not easy to talk about, but I think it's important. Being in law enforcement doesn't mean you're above the law. If anything, it means you should hold yourself to a higher standard. And those 5? They learned that lesson the hard way. Thanks for listening.